When I was 27, my father texted me on the morning of my engagement party. "We're tied up, snap some photos." The message landed like a stone in my gut. No warmth, no emojis, just a curt directive that felt tossed off while he was halfway out the door. I'd grown up in a family that made a big deal about showing up for each other. Birthdays packed with relatives, graduations with homemade banners, even minor promotions celebrated with backyard barbecues. The rule was unspoken but ironclad. When one of us had a moment, everyone rallied. So I waited for more, a call, a follow-up text, something to match the weight of the day I'd been planning with my fiancée, Sarah. Nothing came. I tried to shrug it off. Maybe it was a bad morning. Maybe my brother Mike's kids were sick or my parents had some urgent errand. Sarah and I were swept up anyway, laughing with friends, posing for photos under string lights, clinking glasses to our future. But by noon, the silence from my family gnawed at me. I kept checking my phone, expecting the flood of messages that never arrived. Sarah noticed, her eyes catching mine when I glanced at the screen for the 10th time. "Everything okay?" she asked. I forced a smile. "Yeah, just waiting on Mom and Dad." Around 2 p.m., while we were mid-toast with our friends, I opened Facebook to post a quick shot of Sarah's ring glinting in the sunlight. That's when the world tilted. At the top of my feed was Dad's post, a full album, 30-plus photos of my entire family at a vineyard. My parents, Mike, his wife Emily, 2 cousins, even a couple of my folks' old college buddies, all grinning under a perfect blue sky. They held wine glasses, leaned into sprawling cheese boards, and snapped selfies like they were auditioning for a travel ad. The caption, "Epic day with the greatest crew," time-stamped that morning, right when I'd been waiting for them to show up. I scrolled through, my thumb moving faster with each image. There they were, toasting with sparkling rosé, laughing in a group huddle, Mike's arms slung around Mom like he was the star of the show. This wasn't a last-minute outing. Wine tour like that, 8 people, fancy vineyard, coordinated outfits, take weeks to plan. Reservations, carpools, maybe even a group chat I wasn't in. They'd known about my engagement for a month, had hyped it up at Sunday dinners, promising to make it special. Instead, they chose this. I typed one word back to Dad's text. "Cheers." Sarah glanced over, her brow furrowing, but she didn't press. She knew me. When I go quiet, it's not emptiness, it's calculation. That night, after the last guest left and Sarah was asleep, I sat in the dark with my laptop, the glow burning my eyes. 5 years earlier, I'd sold my tech startup for a 7-figure payout at 29. Most of it went into investments, but I'd carved out a chunk for a family trust. I'd been the quiet fixer, covering my parents' mortgage after Dad's layoff, paying off Mike's car loan when he hit a rough patch, even clearing Mom's credit card debt from her boutique shopping sprees. I never asked for gratitude, never kept a ledger. I thought that's what family did. You help, no scorekeeping. But staring at those vineyard photos, I saw the ledger for the first time. I'd been bankrolling their lives while they toasted my brother on my day. I logged into the trust account and removed myself as trustee and beneficiary. Then I froze the mortgage payments, halted Mike's car loan, and stopped the automatic transfers for Mom's cards. I didn't touch their personal accounts. I'm not a crook. But if they could skip my engagement for a boozy day trip, they could pay their own way. 6 days later, Dad showed up at my apartment, pounding the door like he meant to break it. His face was flushed, veins bulging at his temples, breath heavy like he'd run the stairs. I opened the door but didn't step aside right away. He barreled past, standing in my living room with his hands half raised like he was bracing for a fight. "No, hey, son," no questions about Sarah or the engagement, just, "The bank called, 2 mortgage payments bounced. What you screw up?" "No screw up," I said, voice flat. "I stopped them." His eyes narrowed like I'd spoken in code. I laid it out. The engagement snub, the Facebook album, the deliberate choice to prioritize Mike's wine tour over me. I told him I'd expected them there like they'd always promised. He waved it off like swatting a fly. "Things come up. It was planned weeks ago. Don't make it personal." That phrase, "don't make it personal," hit like a slap. I asked if he'd have been cool with me ditching his wedding for a buddy's poker night. His jaw twitched, no answer. Then the real gut punch. "Your mom didn't mean to upset you." Not an apology, just a deflection. It was clear as day. To them, I was the ATM, not the son. So I spelled it out. Trust dissolved, mortgage frozen, Mike's car payments done. No more loans for cousins or family friends. "You want to act like I don't exist? Cover your own bills." Dad called me selfish, his voice low and sharp, then stormed out, leaving the door ajar. Next morning, Mike texted, not to congratulate me, but, "My car got repoed, fix it." "No, please, just an order," I replied. "Maybe cut back on the weekend getaways." He fired back a string of curses. I didn't respond. That night, I pulled out a notebook and listed every family member I'd bilaid out financially. Beside each name, what I'd paid, how much, how long. Mike topped it, car loans, insurance, even a down payment on his condo. Then my parents' mortgage, credit cards, a loan for a vacation they never took. Cousins, aunts, family friends who'd spun sob stories. The list stretched 2 pages. I'd been their safety net and they'd jumped without looking. They ignored my engagement. I'd make them feel that same invisibility. 2 days after the repo, Mike's calls started. First one, calm, we can work this out. By the fourth, he was yelling, accusing me of sabotaging the family to prove a point. I let them go to voicemail. I dug out my Mike Finances folder. Years of loan statements. Insurance payments I'd covered to keep his luxury SUV on the road, even credit card bills I'd settled when he forgot to pay. I'd saved him from his own chaos, and now, payments stopped. By week's end, no car, no insurance, cards overdue. The family group chat lit up. Cousin Jenna, heard you're cutting everyone off. Aunt Linda, this is too personal. Mom, we need to talk. Dad stayed silent. Sarah and I went to dinner that Friday at a seafood spot by the pier. I didn't check my phone until we got home. 15 missed calls from Mike, texts starting polite, then pleading, then. Lose my job, it's on you? Sure enough, his company, lenient on his spotty attendance because he had wheels for client visits, reassigned his accounts without a car. By Wednesday, he was out. No thrill for me, just clarity. I'd propped up his illusion of stability. The real shock came from Emily, Mike's wife. She called, voice tight, saying she just found out they were 3 months behind on rent. Mike had lied, claiming I was still covering it. The landlord served an eviction notice. Talk to him, I told her. She asked for a small loan. I said no. By month's end, Mike, Emily, and their 2 kids squeezed into my parents' 3-bedroom split level. They called it helping family. I saw it differently. Mike wasn't a guest. He was a wrecking ball. Tensions flared fast. Emily griped about Mom's kitchen rules after 4 days. Dad asked Mike to shovel the driveway. Mike asked if he'd get paid. I stayed clear. The mess was self-sustaining. I turned to the mortgage I'd co-signed. A call to the bank got me the full history. 2 big withdrawals caught my eye. $20K and $15K labeled home upgrades. No permits filed, no renovations done. I tucked the statements into a folder marked insurance. Then came a curveball. A county clerk called about a complaint. My parents' address was flagged for an unlicensed rental. Mike's work. He'd listed their basement on a vacation rental site, already hosted 3 groups. Mom found out when a guy with a duffel bag showed up asking for the check-in code. She lost it in the driveway, neighbors gawking. Dad called, demanding I fix this. I said I was done with their problems and hung up. I didn't stop there. My parents' neighborhood had a nosy HOA, obsessed with rules down to fence heights and mailbox colors. I mailed their president a packet. The county complaint, screenshots of Mike's rental listings with glowing reviews, great host, easy access, and the mortgage statements with those mystery withdrawals. Signed my name in Sharpie. At the next HOA meeting, I sat in the back as the president read it aloud. Neighbors murmured. Someone snorted when she hit the part about guests at all hours. I slid her the mortgage docs next. No one said fraud, but eyes darted. The meeting wrapped in tense silence. By Monday, the neighborhood's online group was a firestorm. Are they running a motel? What happened to that reno money? My parents' house went dark, shades drawn, lawn chairs scattered. Mike called, voice cracking, saying neighbors shunned them, treated them like pariahs. Know how it feels to be cut out? I asked, then hung up. Days later, a bank alert. Their house was listed for sale. Not downsizing, fleeing. They picked a small city 3 hours away, thinking it was a clean slate. Too bad I'd owned a stake in a property management firm there years back. Sold it, but the network stuck. Realtors, inspectors, landlords, all tight with me. I didn't sabotage directly. I just emailed a few contacts the HOA minutes, the rental complaint, and those mortgage statements. No commentary needed. Their first house bid, property pulled. Second, outbid at the buzzer. Third. Same, they were rattled, clueless why doors kept slamming. Mike's life imploded faster. Emily took the kids and moved to her sister's, filing for separation. Jobless, carless, he crashed on friends' couches before renting a basement room in a rough part of town. My parents settled for a cramped rental. Landlord was an old colleague, owed me a favor. I didn't ask for much, just ensured he'd enforce rent due on the 1st, no grace period. Mom took a cashier gig at a dollar store. Dad fixed decks and hauled trash for cash. Family chat went silent, no Christmas plans, no group photos. New Year's Eve, Sarah and I toasted on our new condo's balcony, city lights sprawling below. Mom texted, "Hope you're proud." I let it sit. This wasn't about pride, it was about balance. They'd shown me my place, I'd shown them theirs. Weeks of quiet followed, then a jolt, my banker emailed. My parents tried applying for a loan using my old cosigner status, forging my e-signature. Sloppy move. I called the bank's fraud team, confirmed I'd never approved it, and emailed my parents. "Withdraw it. Now." No reply. Then Emily texted. Mike was spinning yarns, blaming my jealousy for his downfall. A mutual friend set her straight, listing every bailout I'd given him. She dropped a bomb. Mike was hiding at my parents' rental, dodging payday loan collectors who'd started circling his old place. I'd stripped their safety nets, but the real knife? Leaving them with Mike. He wasn't just a burden. He was chaos incarnate, dragging them deeper every day. I pictured them, Mom ringing up discount socks, Dad patching someone's shed, Mike skulking in their spare room, dodging shadows. My engagement day stung less now, replaced by the cold clarity of their choices. I had one move left. Their new town had a tight-knit community board, hungrier for gossip than the HOA. I'd already drafted the email, county complaints, loan statements, even a tip about Mike's debt collectors. I could send it, watch their fresh start crumble publicly, let the whispers turn to shouts. Or I could wait, let Mike's chaos do the work. Either way, they'd built this cage. I was just locking the door.